country for years. We stay where the music plays, where the lights drop low, where the people sway. We stay where the country glows, where the crystals flow, and the lights on
go. So, Evolve Stage 2 has been released now. It's not that much different from the original, but they did put a pretty nice twist on it. There is now a time limit, so the monster can't like keep running all over, and the match never ends. And there's some like unique little twists, such as now they've got things you can buy in the store with credits, which before was completely ridiculous how they wanted over $200 worth of DLC. I really did enjoy playing this game, and it's actually turning into one of my favourite games aside from Warframe, obviously. This game is a lot of fun. I really think you should pick it up. But in this review, I want to go over some of the things that are good and some of the things that are not, such as the hunters and the monsters. So, let's evolve. So, the game lets you pick from 1 to 5 on what you prefer to what you don't prefer. That's a good thing about the game, and it means that you're not always using the same thing. However, if 2 people have it, then it will go into a random chance for each of you to have it. You then pick from a hunter, which the game gives you 6 of each, and they are adding more. However, they do cost silver keys, and you need to play the game to get them, such as Kiara, which costs 2,750. However, Lazarus is on rotation, and they do change every week. You then pick 3 perks from tier 1, 2, and 3. So let's have a look at the weapon wheel. If you press 1, you pull out your primary weapon, which is the weapon you're going to use to deal damage. So when you want to deal damage to the monster, you're going to press the 1 button. The second button will then give you a gadget, which in this case with Abe is his status grenade, which will slow down the monster, and if it's like Bucket, which is the support character, it will be a sentry gun. Number 3, which is the secondary weapon, could either be a gadget or it could be a buff to teams, such as Bucket's cooldown increase. Also, the 4th is something that is used to help your team. If you're Trapper, it will track the monster. If you're Medic, it will give a healing boost. If you're Support, it will give shield. And if you're Assault, then it will give you your own protective shield from the monster. And that's the weapon wheel. Now when you're dealing damage to the monster, you're going to need to have like cover or an advantage over it, either being high or below it. Usually you don't want to be in its face, as it is much stronger than you, and depending on the stage it's evolved at, it should probably kill you in a few seconds. But anyway, I want to go over the map. The maps in Evolve are not that great. There is times when you can get domed in the open and there's nowhere to hide and there's nothing to do if you're the monster. It's not very good like that. But the maps are fun. There are a few places for it to hide. Wildlife is everywhere. When you're playing a monster, it's not scarce for you to find wildlife. If you're playing as a hunter, it's not that difficult to find the monster unless it's constantly moving all around. And using the planet sensor, it's not like all the cliffs are going to stop you from finding it anyway. I never come across a point in the game, apart from twice, where you would get stuck and you'd have to turn around and go back. That's mainly because I tried to leave the map in a point that I'm not allowed to. All in all, the maps are pretty cool in this game. They have a nice spin on the way that the monster can get around. Such as high cliffs, low cliffs, there's toxic water, animals are everywhere. And it does look like an alien-infested planet. I give the maps a very good score. So, after you finish the match, you're going to get a reward, which is usually either a perk or a badge or something like that. And of course, your silver keys, which you can use to spend in the store. You'll also get XP and you'll level up your hunters. As soon as you've finished, you can calibrate or change what you prefer after that match, which is what I tend to do a lot, and then get right back into another. A good thing about Evolve is it's not hard to find a server, and it does not take that long. So when you're playing Evolved, you're going to have to pick out of 4 hunters and 1 monster. The monster will be a Kraken, a Goliath, a Wraith, you could go on, there's about 6 of them. And you'll pick out of the hunters, which will be Assault, Support, Medic, and Trapper. Assault's job is to deal damage, and usually the one to kill the monster and deal the most damage to it. Medic is supposed to heal the team and give support from behind enemy cover. So on top of trees and stuff with your sniper rifle. And if you're Lazarus and if you're Clara, you're going to get up close. If you're playing support, he's going to offer shield and more firepower than the other hunters apart from the assault. If you're playing Trapper, he's going to track the monster and dome it, although anyone can dome it. And pretty much, if you have a really good medic and a really good tracker, then you're going to win, because without those two, your team basically can't win. Without a medic that's constantly healing, and a tracker that's constantly keeping the monster on his toes, then you're not going to win. So make sure when you're playing this game that you learn how to play each class before going into a match, and maybe not doing what you should do with each of the classes. But there is a tutorial for each of them, so I highly recommend that you have a look at them. And now for the monster. When you play the monster, your job is to basically kill wildlife and evolve, like you can see in this clip here. You kill the wildlife, hold E, and then you start to fill up a meter, which is called the evolve meter. However, when you do this, it can take a couple of seconds, so make sure that you are quite far away from the hunters when you do try and eat, and even further away when you do try and evolve. At the top of the screen, you can see your four abilities, which for the Wraith is his Warp Blast, his Abduction, his Decoy, and his Supernova. Actually, right here, the hunters have actually domed me, which is pretty bad for the monster, as it means they can't escape. And the only way they can really get out is if they at least down one of the hunters, which makes the deployable shield die quicker. Once you've killed a few of them, the dome will open and you'll be able to escape. And then the dome recharges for about 2 minutes, or depending on how many you killed, it can take a short amount of time. I recommend that once the dome goes down, if you haven't got shield, you need to get out of there. Because any leftover hunters will probably still track you and still be able to kill you even when you're not domed. After some time, you'll have to evolve though. Now when it comes to evolving, you're going to need to find somewhere away from the hunters. You see here, I'm in a rocky cave behind a tree. In case any of them come in, there's a less chance that they might spot me. Once you evolve, you have 2 points, and you must choose what you want to upgrade your powers for cooldown and damage that they do. Upon evolving, you will also get a cosmetic change to your monster, showing that it is evolved, and it's probably to scare the hunters, however, it just looks pretty badass all in general. I already reached stage 3 here, and my job was to destroy the power relay. The hunters win if they manage to kill the monster, and the monster wins if they manage to kill all the hunters, or gets to stage 3 and destroys the power relay. Luckily, I didn't really have anyone killing me here because of how much damage I did before I got to the power relay, so it meant it was a pretty easy win for me, and that was a lot of silver coins for me. So, what do I think about Evolve? Well, it's a game that I can find myself playing sometimes, but I can't find myself playing it a lot, just because of how much running you do, and sometimes it can be quite frustrating when you get so close to win and then you lose, but that's part of every game, I suppose. In my opinion, I should definitely recommend that you go and download this game and you do try it out. Support the developers, because they obviously made it free to play because they didn't do very well with the original game, and this time they are actually really trying, which is what I can see by the way they've made the game. There isn't really any paywalls apart from some of the hunters, which some people are complaining about, but in Rainbow Six Siege you have to buy the operators, and people don't complain about that. So really, it doesn't really make a difference. I'm going to give the game a 6 out of 10, more than average, because there isn't a single player campaign, and it can get quite boring, and there's not many things to do in the game apart from shoot the monster or evolve. This is Extreme Voltage, signing out. Have a good one.